This technique is called abdominal prep, and the first thing I want to say about anything with our head up in Pilates, it is not essential. I have people who work really hard. This is really important for intermediate to advanced. A lot of people think that having the head up is the be all and end all of Pilates, and it's not. I have many clients who have ongoing neck and shoulder problems, and we can work them with control, we can work them with technique, and we can work them with different variations, and they feel that they've achieved something. So if you keep having a go at abdominal prep, anything with your head up off the mat, and you notice that it doesn't suit you, pain, dizziness, discomfort, please do not do the exercises with your head up off the mat. This is also a technique that you shouldn't do with different spinal conditions, especially if you have osteoporosis. And there is a short video talking about a few of the key exercises and modifications for osteoporosis that you may want to have a look at. Everything should feel comfortable, and if you're not sure, please seek medical professional advice. So I use a little pad, so making sure your head and neck are comfortable. Some people do move this away, so it's personal preference. I'm going to start the main way I teach it, which is with our head and neck supported, because I tend to notice that if you find that you're struggling even with your head and neck supported, then we really need to kind of be moving away from it. You may have seen techniques where people use the magic circle, so the Pilates rings, or we put balls behind our head, but I'm assuming that a lot of people don't have these equipment, so we're just going to go through straightforward abdo prep. Really important to get yourself centered. Be aware of what your neck feels like. Feet and knees hip width apart, rocking that pelvis to find the center. Ribs are soft. Now, when we do our abdominal prep, the effort is kind of coming from these ribs. I sometimes, if I'm in a class, I'll go around and kind of gently push people here. So gently push people here. So you can feel your breastbone go all the way down, kind of just, you'll still feel the bottom ribs. This is where we want the movement to come from, as if there's a button being pushed here. So we don't think about our neck. Our neck just follows the movement. We just think about here. In terms of our head and neck, we want to imagine that we're long through the back of the neck and we're back to that peach underneath our chin. To support our head, we can gently rest our fingertips on the outside of our head. We can create a cradle, but you just want to be aware that if you loop your hands and already you feel you're naturally pulling your head and neck, can you soften your hold? In terms of the elbows, we try and encourage people not to bring them up in front of our face, but some of us are slightly tighter through our chest. So I can't get my elbows all the way down, and that's absolutely fine. So we're just kind of keeping them out of the corner of our eye. From here, as I come into abdo prep, I'm going to imagine that there's a button being pressed here that allows my ribs to go down. And as the button presses and my ribs go down, my upper body lifts up. It's something that you can do. So take your hands, pop your hands kind of on the ribs, and just gently, as if you're kind of moving your hands towards your thighs. You'll feel as you do this, you kind of gently push those ribs down, and you'll feel a little bit of lift or rocking in the upper body. Don't do this firmly, just do this really gently. Okay, great. So hands back into this position. Have a watch to start off with. Neck nice and long, jaw soft, peach underneath the chin. I'm going to imagine that button. I'm going to breathe in to engage. As I breathe out, draw those ribs down, come up, breathe in to hold, breathe out, lower. Good. Elbows staying out, breathing in to engage. My ribs are going to draw down, that button is going to be pushed. I'm going to lift through the ribs, sliding them down, keeping that peach underneath my chin, breathing in to hold, Breathing out, lowering bone by bone. I'm being aware that there will be some activity through here, but I'm not obviously bracing or gripping. If you do this and you notice a big doming in your abdominals, please stop straight away. So let's do that once more. Breathing into center, engaging that core, breathing out, ribs draw down, gently thinking about allowing your head to follow the ribs, breathing into hold, and then lowering down with control. Common mistakes: yanking the head and the neck, chin disappearing onto the chest. If I had a peach, it would be really squashed, chin disappearing. Jaw thrusting. I think people lead with their jaw. I cannot demonstrate that, but if you do it, you'll know that. So my head is really soft. It's just following my body. It really is about lifting my upper back off through that button being pressed and my ribs drawing down. Breathing in to engage, breathing out. Coming back down. Well done. Now, a slight variation of this is where we just float our arms up and we draw down with our fingertips. In my experience, the majority of people do not find this achievable and they strain their necks. There are a couple of people who do find this helpful, so we'll go through it. So it's exactly the same idea. We're thinking about that button being pushed, our ribs drawing down, peach under the chin. As I hover my arms, I'm going to imagine my fingertips and my shoulder blades reaching towards my feet. So I'm going to breathe in to engage, breathe out, breathe in to hold, breathe out, lower down. And again, breathe in to engage, breathe out, just stretch, draw those ribs down. Coming back down. Just see how that felt. We're going to do once more. Imagine those ribs drawing down. The head follows the body. There is a slight nod of the chin, otherwise your head would fall backwards. Breathing in to engage. As we breathe out, button presses, ribs draw down. Stretch those hands and those shoulder blades towards your feet. Breathing in to hold. Breathing out, come down and relax. Well done. So you will find the level that suits you the best. Any neck pain, please just pause and don't worry about abdominal prep.